We start with some breaking news regarding the Miami Dolphins.
Former linebacker and Hall of Famer Nick Buoniconti has passed away. Local 10 News sports anchor Will Manzo joins us live from Miami with a look back at his life. Will.
And Janice and Christy, what a life it was. Simply in football terms, Nick Buoniconti was a Hall of Famer, two-time champion with the Miami Dolphins, a member of that 1972 perfect season, won a championship the following year, was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2001. Those credentials alone cement his legacy, but it is what he did off the field that's so important to the South Florida community and so important to so many others throughout the world. Buoniconti, the member of that 72 team, dying yesterday at the age of 78. He had battled over the last few years dementia-related issues. But while we remember the football player, his legacy off the field after his playing career ended is really what has been so impactful. Buoniconti helped founding the Miami Project to cure paralysis. Started with the Buoniconti Fund, ended up working his way with so many other people to raise more than $500 million in support of the Miami Project research programs. His son, Mark, following a 1985 injury, suffered a paralyzing injury. From that day forward, Nick moved on to try to help find a cure. It is something he has worked so hard on over the last 30 plus years. Now, though, losing his life at the age of 78 due to issues he said had to do with CTE from his playing career. We last heard from Nick in 2017, emotionally describing some of the things he had worked through throughout the years.
I would like to thank my wife, Lynn, for being supportive of me. This is not easy. It's difficult. I'm not half the man I used to be.
Always a great man, though. What an impactful legacy. His son, Mark, releasing a long statement. This is part of it. It said, quote, "My dad has been my hero and represents what I have always aspired to be, a leader, a mentor, and a champion. He selflessly gave all the football to his family and to those who are less fortunate. He made a promise to me that he turned into a revolution into paralysis research. We can best honor his dedication and endless commitment by continuing with our work until that promise is fulfilled and a cure is found." As you can imagine, numerous statements and memorials being sent out. The Dolphins they'll soon release a statement, but here sending their condolences to the loss of Nick Buoniconti. Again, a champion on the football field as a member of the 72 Dolphins and the 73 champs, but so much more off of it. The Pro Football Hall of Fame also releasing a statement a short time ago saying his inspiring Hall of Fame journey started as a 13th round draft choice. He was a member of the Boston Patriots before he was traded to the Miami Dolphins. No-name defense filled with grit, determination, courage, and compassion. Anyone that met Nick Buoniconti will tell you he was a tough Italian kid born in Massachusetts, worked his way up to be a professional football player. And again, Christy and Janice, one of the more impactful people we have ever seen as far as charitable work in our South Florida community. Nick Buoniconti dead at the age of 78.
And Will, I mean, such a passionate football player, obviously, a passionate philanthropist in our community, but even in his death, he's continuing research, I understand, in terms of the brain research, isn't that right? He donated his brain to science.
Yeah. He did announce a couple of years ago that he was donating his brain to science. It is something a lot of former pro football players have done to get a better grasp of what CTE is all about and the effects that it has long-term on the brain following a football career. And if anyone watched the HBO documentary that was released a couple of years ago about Nick's battle and his life, it is certainly enlightening to see him go through these battles, the struggles that not only he went through throughout the years in helping Mark and to help fund and start up the Miami Project and the Buoniconti Fund, but what he's had to deal with health-wise in the last couple of years. Again, he is a strong man, he's an emotional man. His legacy will live on forever and his impact in his community. A lot of outpouring from the community, from his former players. Will continue to follow that throughout the day. A man that meant so much to the football world and to the South Florida community.
And Will, we know that he did so much work with the Miami Project to cure paralysis, and we obviously saw the impacts here in South Florida, but this reached across the United States. He did so much work for the research across the United States.
And you have to remember too, Janice, that his background may be a football player, but he's also a lawyer and he had a lot of well-connected friends, and he made sure from the ground up to start that Buoniconti Fund. He wouldn't take no for an answer. He went out, he fundraised. He started it from a South Florida organization to a worldwide organization. I'm standing here steps away from the center where such great work is done every single day and will continue to be done. He's a big reason why, along with Barth Green, of course, the doctor, the surgeon who has worked so closely with him since 1985. We're expected to hear from Dr. Green later in the day. But again, his legacy will continue. He's a man that made such an impact in our community, and his loss will be felt for a long time to come.
It certainly will be. All right. Thank you so much, Will.